So in my last video, I talked a little bit about why trying to build muscle and achieve fat loss at the same time often will leave you confused and with no results. And so what I immediately started to hear, or some of the feedback that I got almost immediately is, I pick fat loss, right? And so the question that I would ask you is, how long have you been picking fat loss? If for the last 15 years you've been eating at a deficit, the best way to address fat loss for you is going to be not eat at a deficit. The good majority of the time, you should actually be at maintenance. You should be not dieting. But the problem is that if you have fat loss on the list, or the fat loss has been, your number one priority for the last 15, 20 years, and all you could think about is that process, and you've been on 16 million diets and you can't figure out why it works, and raspberry ketones and all that other kind of stuff, and you're intermittent fasting, well, that's the problem. That's not the solution. And so when I say you have to pick either muscle building or fat loss, I hear at least a lot of women, Eat to Perform, we deal with a lot of women, and a lot of women will say, I don't want to build a lot of muscle. We're not talking about bodybuilder type muscle. We're talking about maintaining the amount of tissue that you're basically tearing down when you're working out. And so in that way, you're going to want to keep that tissue so it doesn't end up being fat. And so if you're constantly eating less than your body requires for what you do, ultimately there's going to be some level of tissue attrition. And so you want to kind of not spend your whole life doing that. You want to spend your whole life doing the opposite. And that's why, once again, expansion of work capacity, expansion of the tissue cells in your body, expansion of food intake is way more important than people give it credit. So I hope that clears things up, because I can just hear the whole internet go, I pick fat loss, and that wasn't the goal of that. So I hope this is helpful, and this is Paul signing off, and no more videos today.